like X time this weekend or on Thursday, Friday, whenever. But regardless, I think I'll do my best to cast the ones on Saturday live. But regardless, we're just going to get right into things today. Welcome everyone to Battle of Africa, week 2. And the match today will be between Brazil, or I think they named themselves LoS now, and NaBs, both of whom lost their matches week 1, with NaBs losing to Finland, a very close 2-3 loss, and LoS losing to Tyrant 3-0. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very hard to schedule. I don't know. Maybe like at least consistent days. I don't know. It's very tricky though, especially with a lot of the international teams. Like with NaBs, you have Spaden, who's in Sweden, and then Slam and Mentalist are both in Canada. But regardless, let's introduce the teams, because with the magic of AOC, we have Rex, so we can cast these things even after the fact. You have Slam spawning in as the Blue Saracens here on the flank for NaBs. Pocket will be Spaden as the Purple Byzantines. And finally, we have Mentalist as the Purple Teutons. Against them will be Team Brazil. We have Dogao as the Green Malay on the far right flank. Miguel as the Yellow Chinese in the pocket. And finally, RiuT as the Cyan Italians. Oh, no worries, Fire Nation. I know the feels on that one. So. No worries, no worries. The map will be not Socotra. Yep, that's what it's called. So, essentially, if you're familiar with the map Socotra, it's the one where everyone starts super close together and it's a really tiny map. And the difference with this map between that and normal Socotra is instead of, being an island, you're in the middle of a forest. So you have trees at the edge of the map, which certainly makes the game a little less hectic because you can gather wood at the back with relative comfort. Also, you start with 20 stone as opposed to the normal 200. And on top of that, there is no stone on the map whatsoever. Now, this did not stop people from last week going from trushes, like, all the time. They just bought stone. And I think right off the bat, the most salient thing I noticed is the civ choices for Team NaBs here. We have Saracens for Slam, Byzantines for Spaden, and Teutons for Mentalist. Now, these are just, like, probably some of the strongest trushing civilizations on this map. You may be like, hey, why on earth would Saracens be a good trushing civ? They have no early game eco bonus. Well, that's where you're wrong on this map, because there's no stone, so you're gonna have to constantly be buying stone. And, who has the best markets? The Saracens. And that's why I actually theorized last week that Saracens would be, like, a top choice pick civ for this map, just because of the ability to buy stone for a trush much cheaper. And then beyond that, Byzantines, obviously, strong trush, strong anti-trush. I heard a villager die. Oh no! Rip this lady for Mentalist. Lost a villager. But regardless, Byzantines, extra building HP, helps in any sort of early game defense, as well as the free town watch. Lets you see where the towers are coming better, or just enemy attacks, and of course that can work offensively as well. A little bit of a scout scuffle going on here. And of course, Teuton's classic trush civilization. You get all the villagers in the tower. You bring all the boys and grills. So that's definitely the sort of game plan I see from the start from NaBs. We got Malay for Dogao, Chinese for Miguel, and Italians for RiuT. I'm not honestly quite sure why you'd pick these civilizations in particular. Not that they're bad, per se. I mean, like, Italians... I mean, obviously the cheaper age up is very nice in the early game, especially on a map where you start so close. Also, they're not reliant on the Genoese crossbowmen in the sort of late game. And you definitely want civilizations that are not reliant on their unique unit on this map, because getting castles is next to impossible, because you have to literally buy all the stone for it. Chinese, I guess, you know, just as flexible as the Italians. Like, what I get from both of these civilizations is that they can kind of do anything. They can go for knights with bloodlines, they can go for archers. It's all fine and dandy. And then we have Malay for Dogao. Obviously, the very fast age up is nice. You probably won't get into, like, gold-intensive post-imp situations with trade. So, you know, the Malay's weakness in the late game is not really going to be a factor, most likely. But we'll see how this progresses. Team walls, very common on this map, just because it's actually really easy to wall off, because you have all these little forests in the center, and it's obviously a very, very small map. But regardless, we will have the first person clicking up to the feudal age on 21 population as Slam, as the Saracens. Obviously, you start with all the hunt you could ever want around you. 2 elephants, so then you get some zebra, you get some ostriches. Tangentially, ostrich is actually, like, super delicious, if any of you in chat have ever had it. Like, as a meat. It's like chicken that eats like a steak. I don't know, it's really interesting. It's good, though. Only had it a few times. It's like, imagine a steak, but it tastes kind of like chicken. But regardless, most people are clicking up at this point. Dogao will be the last to click up, but he's Malay, so he's just fine. Yeah, it's really nice, says Dr. Strauss. Welcome to the stream, man. Good to have you back. And it looks like we will be seeing a team wall at least beginning for NaBs here, but definitely much less assertive in their team walling than Team LoS. Which makes sense, because NaBs certainly has the more aggressive civilizations in this situation, whereas Team LoS or Brazil definitely has the more passive, flexible civilizations. So militia coming in here from Spaden, maybe looking to knock down these walls, but militia will struggle to get through those walls without the men-at-arms upgrade and some archers. Now the question is Slam Boy going for the tower rush? He built a mill. Now he's building a market to buy stone. Everybody, it's doing the classic Wall Street build. Rush the markets. Market rush. Best strat NA. Busy trying to get 25k in less than 25 minutes? Well, good luck with that, Granis. Thanks for stopping by, though. I don't know how many people will tune in while I cast this series, but, you know, I'm gonna end up posting it on YouTube anyway, so might as well cast it on stream so I can hang out with chat. You make me feel less lonely. Oh, here comes the first tower coming in for Slam. Men-at-Arms is also complete for Spaden. However, there are no archers as of yet, so this will allow Miguel to start building some stone walls in defense. You do start with 20 stone, so that is enough for 4 segments of wall, which is a little bit more than is needed in this particular instance. So that will sort of forestall the tower aggression for the time being. We have an archery range coming down from RiuT. Well, double range. For Miguel, it's a ton of farms, and it looks like scouts are going to be on the cards for him. And for Dogao, double range. So just normal, like, Arabia strats, I'd say. Honestly, like, it seems like LoS is not playing to the map as well as Team NaBs at the moment. Yeah. I think, you know, the interesting thing to do with GeoGuessr is to put, like, a time limit on yourself, because If not, like, you can spend, like, all day getting the exact location, but that's not exactly particularly fun or impressive. But yeah, Scout's coming out from Mentalist. No towers from him, interestingly enough. I wonder why they went for the Teuton's choice, then. Because it seems like NaBs planned this out pretty carefully, especially with the Saracens pick. Whereas, as I was saying, LoS just picked solid civilizations. Like, I like the Malay choice a lot in this map because you're pretty confident that things won't get to a gold-intensive post-imp situation. And it's just like, Chinese and Italians are just, like, fine civilizations. Haha. Feels bad, man. Archers trying to poke away at these towers before they get up, but the tower train is not stopping. Hey, Chuko Noob, Chuko Kung Fu. Welcome to the stream again. Casting yesterday's matches from BoA. Hopefully you guys haven't all seen them, because, you know, I'm casting the series. Yeah, hopefully it's a good one. A lot of the series have been really great so far, so I'm definitely excited. Both of these teams did lose, but I think the quality of teams in this tournament is so high on average that, like, even these guys are super good. I got a lot of people tuning in now. Or a lot more people, rather. But yeah, welcome everyone. Miguel trying to get this house wall up in time, but gotta get this house. Will it get built? Yes, it will. Brazil has the superior civ choices. I actually disagree with you, Chuko Noob. I think that Saracens are the super smart choice on this map because trushing is inherently so strong, but since you don't start with any stone, you have to buy it, and Saracens obviously buy the stone much cheaper. And then Teutons and Byzantines also good sort of early game civilizations. And Byzantines as well, not really the best post-imp with trade. What are those walls? I mean, everyone's just full walled at this point. Like, there's no reason not to full wall this map because it's so tiny. Now villagers starting to batter away some houses. I guess just waiting for more stone to be bought. Let's check the market prices for Slam, actually. It's 155 gold to buy 100 stone, which actually is pretty good in this situation. Like, if it was anyone who isn't Slam, so just Miguel, it's 192 stone, or gold to buy 100 stone, which is obviously so much better here for Slam. And why they're, like, I'd say the best civ choice on this map, especially since Saracens are pretty bad on most other maps. So I think this is definitely a situation where you can pick Saracens to shine, and the Byzantines strong, the stronger walls and free town watch and stuff like that. Yeah. What is this map called? This map is called Not Socotra. If you are familiar with the HD map Socotra, it's one of the special maps. Again, to anyone who's tuning in, this map is similar to Socotra in that you have a super tiny area with a little bit of forest on the inside, but instead of ocean on the outside, it is all forest all day. Also, you start with only 20 stone, instead of your typical 200 stone on a standard map, and there is no stone whatsoever to be mined anywhere on the map at all. Which, funnily enough, still does not prevent people from trushing. The trush train is not stopping here. Bit of a scuffle going on here. It looks like Dogao has a really solid archer count. Yeah, definitely. RiuT and Dogao are both doubling the militaries of Mentalist and Spaden. Of course, Slam with no military whatsoever because he's tower rushing. And look at this insane walling here from RiuT. He is not having any of the trushing. And luckily for him, all of his gold spawned pretty far away from his opponent's Slam. So I think it's going to be, can Miguel get to the Castle Age quickly? And sort of get some knights or siege out, especially to start pushing NaBs? Because right now, having this big ol' archer Clump for both RiuT and Dogao is only of limited use. Now we have Stonewalls coming in for Slam. Mentalist is actually going to be the first person to click up, interestingly. I guess he did not really go for any towers, he only went for a few scouts, but since everyone was full walled, the scouts aren't going to do a whole lot anyway. Yeah, exactly. that is the best way to make Saracens good. Make the market the most important thing in the game, then Saracens are good. Oh, hey, Professor McMuffin's coming in with the sub. Thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate it. It means a lot. But now I have coinage coming in from Slam, so it looks like he will be going for a sling build, which is a bit unfortunate, but makes sense. He's already working the market. Might as well, start slinging. Let's see what else is going on. Just some archers poking back and forth. A stable coming in for Miguel. He does already have one stable up, but this will likely, mean that knights are going to be on the cards for him. I think it would also be very useful to get out an early siege workshop to start getting rid of these towers, because this hill is actually a super strong advantage for Spaden, as he can kind of easily push into the base of Miguel, like downhill. So it's going to be really important for at least Dogao to keep this side of the hill, because if NaBs get both this hill and this hill, like, that's almost instantly GG for LoS. Well, thank you so much, Professor McMuffins. And enjoy your Ornlu Wolf. Oh, you always root for Mentalist? Yeah, Mentalist is he's a fun player. Been around forever. But he will be the first person up to the Castle Age. Triple stable knights on the table for him. Gonna have all the knight production. And as Chuko Noob is, or Chuko Noob, Chuko Kung Fu, you have so many Chuko Noob related names. But as you're saying in chat, Teutons do have those cheaper farms, so it's definitely a lot easier to get that food economy up and running. Bowsaw, chain barding armor, all the normal shenanigans. Castle Age is also in for Dogao. He is getting a quick university, so we will be seeing a fast ballistics from him. And he certainly will have the Castle Age timing over Spaden. However, these towers here are going to be sufficient in the meantime as far as keeping these crossbowmen away, as they obviously have superior range. And even though they are Slam's towers, you can garrison in friendly allied towers, so Spaden's able to jump in there and get all the extra arrows. Yep, Slam definitely going with the Slingerino here. I'm going to switch to... nope. I'm going to switch to someone on LoS, so I don't hear the tribute sound constantly. But yeah, we do have some knights out here for both teams, though Mentalists are much better upgraded, since Mentalists didn't really face any aggression in the early game, and I think this just goes to demonstrate NaBs' overall better planning for this map. But here comes the knights, ready to rush right on in. No fear. Lots of crossbowmen are out for Dogao, as well as RiuT, 27 and 24 military respectively. But we also have Miguel coming in with the flanks on the knights to take out a Mangonel. And it looks like the knights of Mentalist are going to be pushed back for the time being. Spaden does have the hill here, but he's just so outnumbered that it doesn't really matter. Extra town center coming in for Miguel here as well. Definitely is going to want to secure all of this gold that's in the front of his base. Yeah, I guess walling the wood line at the back of the map is alright, but not really too big of a deal since everyone's team walled. Yeah, it really was not the greatest of engagements for Mentalist. 5 units killed, 16 lost. I think that definitely tells the story of this game so far. And yeah, that poor engagement definitely is going to give LoS the advantage for the time being. They just have such a larger army on hand, and it was a really nice swing around from Miguel to take out the Mangonel for Mentalist, Because that Mangonel was really crucial in helping him deal with all of these crossbowmen, especially downhill. "16 Knights lost." Rip. But here we are. Spaden, who's been very quiet this Castle Age, just making some crossbowmen, not upgrading them too significantly, only with a Bodkin Arrow, on the way to Imperial Age for a fast imp build. And this is, I think, a really smart move. Because, one, Arbalests are going to easily deal with crossbowmen. Like, Arbalests are, you know, not quite like the power spike that you get from like archers to crossbowmen, but they're still really good and can definitely deal with crossbowmen quite well. And I think even more importantly, bombard cannons, since you can't really get castles for trebs. But bombard cannons are going to be really crucial at picking away at opponents' mangonels and towers and town centers and stuff. And, you know, anything with super long range is going to be super OP on this map. But we do have a couple mangonels here for Mentalist. One is almost dead. Oh no, here comes Miguel going in for the snipe. He will certainly get one mangonel at the least. Good job focusing that one, and it looks like he will get both. Nice little run-by for Miguel right there. The crossbow numbers are starting to increase rapidly for Spaden. He does have Thumb Ring, so they are firing faster. However, is this going to be enough? We have Mentalist coming in with more and more Knights. Both Mentalist and Miguel have the same upgrades as far as Knights go. But Miguel doing a really nice job picking off these mangonels, or at least trying to. This one will survive with... Oh, never mind. Never mind. Well, at least there's one mangonel left. But yeah, Dogao will be the first to the Imperial Age, because, again, he was doing essentially the same thing as Spaden. And I definitely like the Malay choice for this map, compared to Chinese and Italians. But RiuT will be also to the Imperial Age in not too long. Build castles or bombard towers. Yeah, I mean, the thing is with Chinese in the late game, you want to get the Chuko Nu going, you want the siege rams, bombard towers, stuff like that. But you can't really do that on this map. So I don't really know why you would go for Chinese, especially when Steppe is a map in this map pool, where you have the Nomads start. So Chinese are obviously going to excel on any map with a Nomad start because they're extra villagers. But, you know, this is just a normal start. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure on that choice. But regardless, Italians also having a cheaper age up, not to the same degree to the Imperial Age as the Byzantines, but, you know, they get a cheaper age up along the way. And I assume we will be seeing bombard cannons out from Spaden. Actually went with a monastery and university. No siege workshops for him, as I can tell. Looks like Mentalist is going to be the one going much more heavily into siege. Teutons, of course, having some of the best siege units in the game. Though it's unlikely we will be seeing a castle come up for the good old ironclad tech, which is actually super good. Not a tech to be ignored, in my opinion. Gives your bombard cannon 6 melee armor, which that's crazy. That's crazy. Oh, here comes Miguel in for another snipe on a mangonel. Mentalist has really lost a ton of mangonels this game. But here come the battering rams onto the town center for Dogao, and his army is completely split off from his town center, having to run in with the villagers, whipping out the old villager beaten sticks. But will this town center fall? Obviously, the villagers cannot re-garrison, so Dogao is going to lose a ton of villagers right now. Going to start dropping below 40. And, you know, I talked about in the early game, if NaBs could claim both sides of this hill, it would be disaster for Team LoS, and that is exactly what happened. The Ornlu Stradamus comes in again. Villagers now attempting to take down a knight with +2 armor. That is never the sort of situation you want to be in, and I definitely think NaBs is in a very strong position this game. Despite, I think, possibly, like, better, like, macro and mechanical play coming in from RiuT and Dogao, I think just NaBs is playing the much smarter game. I think we're definitely seeing that right now. Yes, RiuT still has a very large army, that still has the largest army in the game, but your boy Dogao doesn't have a town center. Yeah, that's not great. Mentalist clicked up to Imperial Age as well. He is going to be miles ahead of his counterpart Miguel. Though, to be fair, we do have enough Arbalests out for RiuT and Dogao to push back Team NaBs for the moment. They're going to definitely have to make something work right now because they have the tech advantage right now with 2 players in the Imperial Age as opposed to the 1 of Team NaBs. Obviously, Slam not really going to be contributing to this game in terms of military, just slinging his teammates. The Peasants' Revolt. Classic. It was about as successful as most peasant revolts throughout history, as I'm sure you know, Chuko Noob. But thankfully, Dogao does have a town center back up, and he will be getting another one. Imperial Age just creeping in here for Mentalist so painfully slowly. Archers, or rather Arbalests, garrisoning in these town centers for Slam, or the towers rather, which are actually going to be pretty nice, even though the towers will do 1 less damage than the Arbalests. You know, the Arbalests will be protected and will have that extra range, and of course are shooting downhill onto these Arbalests. Though it looks like he decided to ungarrison them. I guess it's pretty significantly less damage, because it's 10 damage for the Arbalest and only 6 for the tower. Yeah, exactly. No, Chukanoob, I was being sarcastic there. Where are the mangoes? The mangoes are in the big place in the sky where all mangonels go when they are dismantled. All of the mangonels for Mentalist this game have been sniped by Miguel's knights. 3 weeks free? Belgium selling out his stream in my chat. Well, I can't complain about that. That's awesome, though. Why the hell do you have 3 weeks free? It's March! Aren't you in university? Do Belgians just randomly get 3 weeks off for spring break or something? But yeah, definitely be checking out your Road to 2K3 streams. That should be interesting, to say the least. But finally, we do have the Imperial Age tech in for Mentalist here, is getting that Cavalier, getting that plate barding armor, and as I said, the longer this game goes on, I do think that NaBs will be in a stronger and stronger position, just because right now Miguel is in such a rough position as the pocket. Yeah, he's on 2 town centers, yeah, he has a lot of villagers, but he's just not close to the Imperial Age, and once Cavalier comes in, I think it can really spell a problem for LoS here. Yeah, that's what they're called. I actually do think it would be smart as well for Mentalist to invest in the Onager tech, or I guess, you know, Spaden could do it as well. Just because they have 2 players on LoS going for Arbalests. It looks like another engagement is about to happen. There is the +4 defense in for these Cavalier. Oh, okay. That's nice. Big engagement is happening here. You know, NaBs did listen to Obi-Wan. They have the high ground, taking the much better engagement because of it. Cavaliers, much better than Knights, and even though there are way more Arbalests here for LoS, the Arbalests for NaBs have the high ground and actually are much better upgraded, as they are fully upgraded Arbalests as opposed to only +1 defense, no chemistry, and then no +4 defense. But it looks like LoS might be broken here. This might be the game. I don't really see how they can come back in this situation. Yes, we do have Miguel trying to get a ton of camels out. He has plenty of stables. He has 5. Arbalest reinforcements trying to come in from RiuT, but I think that in terms of just tactical positioning, I think that NaBs is just kind of right in between Dogao and the rest of his team with the better tech advantage. We get 2 days. If you're talking about Easter, in America, we don't get Easter off at all because, you know, at least theoretically we have separation of church and state. So yeah, no Easter vacation for us. I believe you can take Easter off if you're, you know, a practicing Christian, at least at GW. but it's not like the whole university gets it off. Like, you're allowed to miss class if it's on Easter, or Easter Monday, because obviously, you know, Easter's on Sunday. But yeah. The First Amendment! Also, we have Paladin on the way for Mentalist. Definitely playing pretty well this game. Despite some early poor engagements, definitely taking very good strategic positioning. And of course, Spaden getting slung with a very fast Imperial Age and a ton of fully upgraded Arbalests. And right now, Dogao is just, you know, he's in Frown Town. Arbalests just don't care at all for Spaden. They're just wandering in, making use of that amazing Saracen team bonus, getting that +1 attack versus buildings. Quality stuff right there. And you know, we don't have LoS calling it just yet. You saw this game yesterday night? Yeah, I know. I am casting the recordings, but hopefully you guys don't mind. Hopefully I will be able to cast the matches live on Sunday, but unfortunately, you know, I am a student. I can't exactly just cast matches on a Thursday most of the time, at least Thursday evening. Got stuff to do. But Arbalest coming and taking out a ton of villagers for Miguel. He doesn't seem to notice this only now, but he's going to lose all but one villager in the process. Arbalest taking down a stable. Saracen team bonus OP. Please nerf. Captram and Blast Furnace on the way for Mentalist, certainly rounding out his tech tree. Drop out of school and become a BoA caster? I wish, man. I mean, I really like what I study, but, you know, doing an AoE caster full-time, that's the dream right there. But, streaming doesn't exactly pay the bills as of yet. But yeah, just, I don't really see how, LoS can come back in this situation. Dogao is essentially out of this game. Spaden has a ton of Arbalests. And yes, RiuT does have the largest population in the game, technically speaking, because he's been entirely not attacked at all since the Feudal Age, because Slam has this beautiful farming economy here. But, yeah. Arbalests aren't really going to cut it at this late stage in the game. Again, I'm not exactly sold on the Italians' choice or the Chinese choice on this map. I'm gonna kill 90 to take his spot. There can only be one. It's Highlanders. Highlander Age of Empires 2 casters. Well, to be fair, then I'd also have to take out Resonance 22 and Nobody 41. Gotta get rid of all of them. The one true American caster. Is Blue ever gonna get to Castle Age? No. He will never click to Castle Age. He's just slinging. He's just slinging. Yeah, I now have hand cannoneers coming in for RiuT here. I'm not exactly sure why RiuT thinks that hand cannons will perform much better than Arbalests in terms of facing Arbalests and Paladins. Like, yes, I believe the hand cannons are a bit better against Paladins than the Arbalests, but not against other Arbalests, because Arbalests are very good against hand cannons because they have more range and are more accurate. Hi, Dayheis. Welcome back to the stream. Oh, nice. Nice. Glad I'm able to catch some people on the day after, since I am also not spoiled to this match. Yeah, welcome back to the stream. Miguel is about to get to the Imperial Age with what town center? Where is Miguel's town center that he's clicking to Imperial Age with? Hold on. Oh, there must have been some kind of bug in the spectator, because it showed him continuing to research to the Imperial Age when he didn't have a town center. That's a little odd, but regardless... Oh, curse you, Chuko knew. I'm like, what the hell, man? But then I realized, oh, duh. Duh. But yeah, NaBs will win this game. And again, I was talking about it all game long, but I do really think the superior civilization choice army composition choice, like strategic choice, taking that hill on the right side of the map. All good things. Slam obviously doing a ton of slinging over to Mentalist towards the late game, allowing to get that Paladin tech out. Very expensive, as we know. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a good day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Since when is Slam in NaBs? Slam is on loan. Slam is still a Tyrant, but he is playing with NaBs for this tournament. I don't believe he's switching to NaBs, like... I don't think he's leaving Tyrant. At least not as far as I know. Maybe someone with more insider knowledge may know. But I'm clueless. Because no one tells me anything. But that will be game 1 going to NaBs, and as, you know, remember, NaBs gave Finland a run for their money. They were up 2-0 until Finland was able to manage the reverse sweep last week. So, yeah, they're definitely playing, I think, a lot better than people expected, and I think it really comes down to this very smart play from these players. But the good part about casting from Rex, like, yes, it's not as hype as casting a match live. However, I can just jump right into the next game whenever I feel like it. I decide the transitions, not these mercurial players. So we'll just jump right into game number 2. What matchups from the first rounds were the most interesting ones to watch? NaBs versus Finland and China SY versus Team VNA. Those were the best ones in my opinion. But regardless, getting into game number 2 now, I think this one's Arabia. Yes, it is. Ornlu with the pro knowledge. The only reason I come here? Sorry, guys. Sorry. GeoGuessr will have to be delayed for the time being. Mend your bike. Good luck with that, man. That sounds like something I'd rather not be doing. But regardless, we're going to jump right into game number 2 here between NaBs and LoS. Spawning here on the southern flank for Team NaBs is Slam as the blue Berbers. His pocket will be Mentalist as the red Spanish. And the far northern flank will be Spaden as the purple Mayans. Losing game 1, looking for the comeback here, we do have LoS with RiuT as the Cyan Indians on the north flank. Dogao as the green Malians in the pocket. And finally, Miguel as the yellow Huns on the south flank. With a double kill on his goats there, that's a bit rip. Also, is this a lame? Is this a lame Miguel the Lamer boy? Yes, it is. Certainly is. Slam down an elephant. He just did not see this coming. He's also down 2 goats, and this is not a great way to start this map if you are Slam boy here. Yeah, definitely. So let's take a look at the civilizations here, and before I do my normal matchup by matchup breakdown, I just want to point out that the choices of Malians, Indians, and Huns for LoS definitely reinforce their, I'd say, desire to just play the straight-up game and sort of out-macro their opponents in a standard game, quote-unquote. Like, they're just going for the typical classical power civilizations on Arabia. They're not trying anything fancy. They're not doing anything, I guess, unorthodox. This is very orthodox sort of comp building from Team LoS. It's not that on this map that NaBs is doing anything particularly crazy. But they're not going for, like, all of the Arabia power civilizations. But regardless, let's take a look at the matchup by matchup sort of breakdown, because I like doing that, because I have a whole series on Reddit devoted to that. So we have Huns for Miguel. Huh. Good to hear, Dr. Strauss. Huns for Miguel and Berbers for Slam. So early game, Huns have a pretty decisive advantage over the Berbers because, well, the Huns have the faster working stables. They don't have to build houses, so they can, you know, do any strategy with great flexibility. However, once you start getting into the Castle Age, and all the way through the rest of the game, the Berbers are just like the hard counter-civ for the Huns. Like, it's just so unfortunate if you are the Huns versus the Berbers in the late game. The Berber Camel Archers easily counter the Hun Cav Archers. The Berber Camels are cheaper than the Hun Knights. And, you know, the Berber Knights are also cheaper than the Hun Knights. And it's just so hard for the Huns in the late game in this matchup, so we'll see what LoS decides to do in this situation. Looking at the pockets, we have a Spanish for Mentalist and Malians for Dogao. Malians, definitely, possibly even the strongest Arabia civilization right now. I'm not 100% sold either way, and that villager is gonna die, no, wow! Villager with the leap of faith right there. Really, really lucky making it into that town center in time. But yeah, Malians, jack of all trades civilizations, one of the most powerful in the game. Solid pocket civilization, solid flank civilization. Certainly, you know, there's no... You can... This is one of the few civilizations that's equally happy on flank and in pocket. I'd say that the Huns are another one of those civilizations that don't care if they're flank or pocket. They do spectacularly in both. And that, compared to the Spanish definitely prefer pocket to flank, so they can get to the Castle Age, get those conquistadors out and rolling. However, this map looks like it's kinda open here for Mentalist. Definitely going to be much harder to wall than I think he would like, because, you know, if I were Mentalist in this situation, I would want to go for Scouts in the Feudal Age, wall up, take stone, and drop a castle once you hit Castle Age. But, yeah, it's definitely going to be a little bit trickier for him. And finally, Mayans for Spaden versus Indians for RiuT. If any of you have seen my tier list videos on YouTube for 1v1 Arabia, you know that I have Indians at number 1, saying that they have so few bad matchups and they're just so solid in almost every single matchup. Well, the one caveat to that is things are a little iffy versus the Meso civs for the Indians, because you really can't make good use of your camels, because obviously no cavalry for the Meso civs. And then also the Italians. Oh no! Oh no! Also, if you're the Indians player, or in fact any civilization, don't run your scout underneath your opponent's town center. This is something that I definitely, you know, it's a do as I say, not as I do sort of situation, because, well, you know, exclamation mark scout in chat. But, regardless, that's kind of how the civilizations break down here. Berbers here for Slam are excellent, versus the Huns. Not as strong against the Malians or Indians. Yeah, quality command there, by courtesy of our good friend Granis. But, Indians do get good hand cannons to deal with eagles. However, that's not till, like, a lot further in the game. Like, Indians have nothing great to deal with Eagle Warriors until they get their hand cannons out, because, like, you don't want to be going long swords as Indians. You can't really go for camels and expect them to do well versus eagles. And, you know, if Spaden chooses to go for plumed archers, I actually think Mayans have the second best matchup against the Indians, after the Italians. But, yeah, Mayans able to go for plumes and eagles, and it's definitely harder to deal with. Granis, you know, not only do I mention his name, but, you know, I just have to say Indians, and Granis is just, like, he's on the case. It's like the Granis signal. Like, someone just mentions Indians, there is, you know, just this, you know, random bat signal, except instead of a bat, it's a salty Slavic man and it's just like an Indian's like an elephant archer icon with like the little like circle with the red line through it. That's what the Granis symbol is. I make myself laugh because I'm that much of a doofus. You've seen Persian longswords? Well, it's not ideal. Like, obviously Indians can make longswords. Indians do get they don't get fully upgraded champions. They don't have plate mail. Oh, you made that command, Granis? Is that the emote face you sent me on Discord? Because that's an emote-worthy face right there. Sorry guys, I'm only affiliated on Twitch. I only get one emote. Yes, I would love to have more emotes, but I can't. Can't. Need to get partnered. Oh, the Granis signal? that would be if there's ever an Ornlu like Ornlu a Granis, it would definitely be the little elephant archer icon with the red circle and the line going through it. That'd be perfect. But getting back to the game here, everyone is reaching the feudal age. Looks like Slam went for scouts into archery range. Looks like Mentalist is actually going for a naked fast castle. That is a bold move, my friend, and only just now getting the walls down. This is so greedy here from Mentalist. Elephants are beautiful. You bet they're beautiful. Everyone knows that this is a pro-elephant stream. We always support our pachyderm friends. Those and rhinos. And hippos, I guess. Fun fact, the unofficial animal mascot for George Washington University, where I go to school, is the hippo. Like, our official mascot is, you know, creatively George Washington, but, you know, unofficially, we have the hippo. Juko Noob, hoping he's mining stone. He is not. Both of these stones are super exposed, so we're just going straight FC into Knights. Mentalist forgetting that this is Wololo Kingdoms and not AOC, and he has a ton of scouts all up in his grill here. Archers now coming in from the north side for RiuT. Milford, Washington, I like it. I like it. That's quality. I'll have to submit this. But yeah, so many archers here right now. Miguel has some archers. Dogao has some archers. RiuT has some archers. They realize that Mentalist is going for this absurdly greedy play, and he's getting punished for it. You know, I commended Team NaBs with their very smart strategy choice last game, but I think this was way too greedy here from Mentalist. 23 villagers as he hits the castle age. Like, yeah, he'll be able to get, like, a knight or two out, but he still has a ton of stuff in his base, having to run his villagers outside the wall, zebra body blocking there. Yeah, that rhino that died was so sad. Like, the last, male white northern rhino has died. And, like, there's like, a really sad picture of, like, one of his handlers, like, crying and, like, holding on to his body. I think he died of old age at 45 or something, which is obviously a good long life for a rhino. But regardless, he was the last male of his species, so there's going to be no more white rhinos. They're going to go extinct. So that's a bit of a downer on stream, but you know, this is why we support the Ban of Ivory trade here at Ornlu AOE. Doing the good old public service announcement. But yeah, Mentalist is in such a bad position right now. Yeah, I think, like, I know what you mean, Granis, because, at least in my situation, like, I can watch as much, you know, random violence in movies or TV shows or video games and be, like, totally unaffected. I can, you know, not enjoy, but, like, I can see, like, a lot of brutal stuff happen on the news, like, you know, stuff in, like, wars overseas and stuff like that. Like, it's not pleasant, but, like, you know, I can do it no problem. But watching animals die or animals, like, suffer, like, be in pain, like, that just goes right to the feels for me. Like, I don't fuck with that shit. Like, like, you know, it's all... Like, I wouldn't laugh at, like, a public execution. Unless it was, like, someone absolutely awful. But, yeah. Like, I don't mind it. It's like animals, like, getting hurt and dying. I'm just not a fan. I like animals. I have a corgi calendar behind me. For reasons of me liking animals. Regardless of animal violence, we have Miguel getting to the castle age. 3 archery ranges from him. Very likely we'll be seeing cav archers. Just walling his south side of the map. Nothing too big deal. Oh wow, Knights managing to sneak into his wood line though. Nice little run around there from Mentalist. However, these Knights do not have any attack upgrades, so they will not be able to 4-shot the villagers. Show on stream. Oh, my corgi calendar? Oh, I have before, but I'll show you guys after this game if you want. But, let's see. Knights running in for Dogao. Obviously, Dogao's Knights are much better upgraded than Mentalist's, having Bloodlines and +1 defense, because, well, Dogao went for what I would call the safe and standard play. He went for Scouts into Castle Age, which is definitely much more the meta. And then going triple TC behind it. Well, it was a slower triple TC. It wasn't like an instant triple TC. And he is going double stable Knight production. Very much meta, you would say. I don't understand Rhino dying of old age is worse than people being executed. Well, it's more a fact of it was the last Rhino. It was the last male northern Rhino. And yeah. I mean, execution that's like pretty gruesome. Unfortunately, we have not yet banned capital punishment in America for some reason. Well, to be fair, we've done it in a lot of states, but it's not like a federal law. Like, I know in Illinois, where I'm from, there aren't, you know, capital punishment is illegal, but that's not to say that it's not in many other states. Sorry, Professor McMuffins. I know, I'm such a hypocrite. Ooh, nice crossbow shots coming in right before the town center finish, just getting an extra couple villagers for Mentalist, who's been having such a rough time this game. Actually, let's check out what's been going on the north side, because Spaden's been kind of quiet. On 2 town centers, getting a 3rd, has a bunch of crossbowmen. Looks like I might have missed some archer exchanges between RiuT and Spaden. Because right now, RiuT has a 2-to-1 KD over his Mayan counterpart. I'm not sure who has the larger army here. I'm pretty sure it would come down to micro. I think Spaden is trying to wait for ballistics. Looks like RiuT already has it. So definitely advantage going to be going to him. But it looks like they'll just both disengage here. No real problem there. And definitely, I think LoS is in a much stronger position overall this game. Oh, looks like we got the old shootout going on up top here. Who is going to win in this, like, reminds me of the American Civil War with, like, just people lining up and just shooting at each other. But looks like Spaden will come out on top in this engagement. His opponent actually had +2 defense over Spaden, so I guess it came down to numbers. But now we have Dogao coming in with the knights, and, you know, never bring a knight to a crossbow fight. You guys are silly in chat. Yeah, so many knights in here for Dogao, and unfortunately, NaBs is in a really rough position. Well, I guess unfortunate if you're NaBs. I don't really have a bias one way or the other. Third town center coming in for Miguel, making that Cav Archer transition. Ooh, this is a little rough. Running under that castle, going to be losing at least 3 Cav Archers for free. And obviously, Slam's going to see this coming. He has towers up in good defensive position. Yes, he is only on the 1 town center right now, which is really not great as far as his villager count goes. But Slam does know that he needs to survive for the time being. This is when the Huns are going to be most powerful against him. He has elite skirmishers. And just the longer this goes on, the more Camel Archers he can make. And, yeah, the better it's going to be for him. Getting a nice engagement with these skirmishers against these Cav Archers. Miguel not paying attention right there. However, on the north side of the map, looks like Dogao is just running wild over Spaden right here. Does not have the support needed from his teammate Mentalist, who obviously was just getting shreked in the early game. No upgrades whatsoever on his knights. Like, if we compare the situations for Mentalist and Dogao here, both players are on 3 town centers, but Dogao has Bloodlines +1 attack, +2 defense, and Husbandry for his knights. Mentalist has no upgrades for his knights. Mentalist has 5 army, Dogao has 14, and it's in his opponent's base. No, llamas are cute, man. Zebras are jerks. Juco noob, that's an alpaca. The alpacas do the spitting. Also, I think alpacas are the fluffy ones. I think llamas are the non-fluffy ones. No, I like me some alpacas. I think we may have to do a Google image search after this to really compare and contrast the positives and negatives of alpacas and llamas. Alpaca is a llama? I'm pretty sure they are different animals, technically. They're obviously very similar. Looks like Slam getting ballistics. He does not quite have bloodlines yet, as Miguel does, but I think it's a bit of an iffy fight with these knights here from Dogao, but if those knights were not there, this army for Slam would just annihilate the Cav Archers of Miguel. Oh, llamas with hats. That is just a gem. Like, I remember back when YouTube was first a thing, and, like, you know, it's all about those short animated videos. What was it, Secret Agent Bob? You know, he did Charlie the Unicorn, and I thought llamas with hats was the best of those videos he did. Yeah, so alpacas are the fluffy ones, then. Yeah, but like I said, with the knights here, it's definitely a much trickier battle for these Camel Archers and Skirmishers, and, you know, unfortunately, Slam just hasn't had the time he has needed to get this Camel Archer ball up and running. Again, he does have ballistics, so he can poke away at the, you know, his opponent's units, but oh no, he looks like he's gonna be caught out right here by these Cav Archers, and yes, Camel Archers beat Cav Archers, but not when they're outnumbered 5-1. Camels are beautiful. What the hell, Chuko noob? Camels are majestic beasts of the desert sands. Looks like those knights aren't going to get too much damage done, but you know things are looking rough when all 3 members of LoS have more villagers than all 3 members of NaBs. Like, currently Spaden is in the best position of anyone on his team at 4 town centers and a castle. But he doesn't really have a huge army, and he's not really in a great position, especially if you compare that to where RiuT is sitting at. I really do think that in the straight-up macro mechanics game, I do think LoS is stronger than NaBs. I think NaBs' like best way of defeating LoS is with smart decision-making. But, yeah. That's not really been how this game has shaped out. Looks like some Imperial Camels are going to be on the way just to make Kranis happy. Never had to deal with cows? What's wrong with cows? Cows are sweet. I've been around cows. I am a Midwestern boy. But yeah, that's going to be GG. With Imperial Age coming in for RiuT, and there's no one even close to that for NaBs. That will be game number 2, tying things up for Brazil in a very dominating game. Just really beating up on poor Mentalist, who went for a greedy Castle Age with no protection. Always have protection, everybody. I've never milked a cow. I've been around cows. One of my dad's friends in England, she teaches at, I think, the University of Birmingham, if I can say that correctly. Yeah, and she has cows. She has a lot of cows. That will be game number 2 in the bag as I update the score correctly. How do you say that? Pisces? 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 I am a Gemini, and that does not reflect me at all. I am like nothing like a Gemini. I'm close to a Taurus, but I'm almost a Gemini. Yes, cows are pretty dumb, and goats are smart, and I love me some goats. Actually, cows are great, but I love goats. Goats are amazing. Goats are just awesome. Hold on. It's time to do some Google image search of a baby goat, because they are so cute. Look at this little guy. Look at this kid. So cute. So majestic. This one's wearing a little sweater. Yeah, me too. Yeah, they're so sweet. Goats can be evil. Goats can be assholes. But just to balance things out, let's look at some happy cows. Look at this happy cow. Oh. This cow is a flower. This bull is grinning like a doofus. Okay, also, llama versus alpaca. Yeah, llamas are like the larger, wilder version. Here we are. You can't really see it on stream, but of course I can't see the high-res version of the image. So, okay, so alpacas weigh much less, 150 pounds to 400 pounds. They have soft, luxurious fleece, and llamas have coarse fleece. Alpacas are gentle and timid. Llamas are brave and stubborn. Alpacas can learn tricks. Llamas can carry heavy packs. Alpacas need protection, and llamas serve as herd guards, like a sheepdog. So there you have it. There was our nice little animal interlude. Brave translation assholes. Yeah. But we will be getting into game number 3 here for people who come to the stream for some reason other than like random discussions of random stuff. I know, I feel like our stream is like the most random stuff, but I like it. So big at have only 100 food? Well, yeah, that's kind of odd. Regardless, we're going to be getting into game number 3 here between... Sorry, had to cough a bit for some reason. But sorry, game number 3 between LoS and NaBs. LoS taking revenge in game number 2, tying this series up 1-1, effectively a best of 3 from here on out. But spawning here in the bottom flank for Team NaBs, we have Slam as the blue Franks. His pocket will be Spaden as the purple Ethiopians. And their far flank will be Mentalist as the red Vikings. Winning game number 2, we have LoS here on the sort of southwest side, with Miguel as the yellow Magyars on the top flank, or I guess west flank. RiuT as the Cyan Mongols in the pocket. And finally, we have Dogao as the green Khmer on the south flank. And watch Slam's base. Didn't know that Chuko knew. Oh, looks like there's some laming going on. Looks like Dogao stole a couple goats from his opponent. This is a very forward boar. Is this Slam's boar? Looks like it has to be. Or boar, it's an elephant. Duh. Yeah, 1 elephant, 2 elephant. There we are. Lame coming in here for Dogao, taking 2 goats as well as this elephant. So educational here. Exactly, Deheis. This is an educational stream. But yeah, definitely big early advantage here coming in for Dogao over Slam. Poor Slam, he's gotten lamed 2 games in a row. That's pretty feels bad, man. Obviously, Slam, very strong player. Probably the second best player in this. Actually, he might be the #1 player in this game in a 1v1. Right now, though RiuT certainly has had a higher peak. Deheis. Okay, I got you, fam. Why no Slam lame back? Slam probably doesn't know. Yeah, he has no idea. He's still looking for 2 of his goats, not knowing that they have been lamed. He knows that the elephant has been lamed, but he doesn't know about the goats. He's already lured a zebra, trying to make up for that fact. Also having it loom early. So, obviously it's been a very hectic Dark Age, but let's take a quick look at the civilizations here. Franks, good civilization. Khmer, not good civilization in my opinion. I think they would have wanted to get Khmer in the pocket. I mean, Mongol pocket's obviously very good, but I'm not sure why you'd go for Khmer here. Like, you guys know my opinion of Khmer on Arabia, and this map, by the way, is Dust. I think it's called Dust. Yeah, it's Dust. So, yeah, this map is pretty much just Arabia. The wood lines are a bit smaller, so definitely walling is a lot harder than on Arabia. But there aren't any, like, awful wood lines that have ponds. So, you know, there's at least, you know, relatively... They're like, you'll get relative value for your lumber camps. That's a really awkward lure, but it's not the worst it could be. Especially when you have 3 elephants. We're gonna domesticate all those elephants. Exactly. But yeah, I'm not sure why you would pick Khmer. Though, to be fair, LoS has used a lot of really strong civilizations already. Yeah, that's a ton of food here. So, yeah, my question is, why pick the Khmer? Yes, LoS has used a lot of really strong civilizations before. Like, they've used Indians, they've used Malians, they've used Huns, they've used Chinese, they've used Italians, and they've used Malay. So they've pulled out all the stops in terms of just good civilizations. Yeah, I mean, Slam was able to lure 2 Zebra, so he could be in a worse position, but he's in a pretty bad position. Also, okay, this is a little frustrating for me. Why on earth would you pick Franks on this map and not Arabia? This is really bamboozling to me, because you can't make any use of the forage bonus. Like, and this map, just pick Spanish. Or Berbers. Like, switch it out in, you know, from game 2 to game 3. This, like, I really don't understand why you would pick Franks on a map where you can't get their berry bonus. Yeah, because Dogao is really getting to the next stage so much faster than everyone else. RiuT's going to be the first person to the feudal age, obviously, as the Mongols. Very fast start. And Mongols are definitely a civilization that makes a lot more sense on this map, in my opinion, because here we are. With the 50% faster working hunters, and the fact that you will 100% have to mill your zebra because there's nothing else to mill. Yeah, you know, you will be guaranteed that extra hunting bonus, you know, as well as the elephants, of course. I mean, yeah, of course, the Khmer get Bombardier Cannon, but you can't fast imp on a map that's this open. Like, you're gonna fast imp on this map? You're gonna end up like Mentalist last game. We do have 3 villagers on gold, however. Archery range coming down. Okay, so it looks like he'll just be going into archers. Nothing too crazy there. Doesn't have to invest in the barracks. Slam will be the last person to click up to the feudal age. Obviously, very rough start for him. Took me 2 losses to absolutely lose my shit. Feels bad, man, Belgium. This is the stream where, you know, positive vibes happen, where you get frustrated at Slam for picking Franks on a map that doesn't have berries. But looking at the north side quickly, we have barracks and soon-to-be men-at-arms coming out here for Miguel, not going for the scout rush as Magyars, which is definitely their, you know, go-to strategy. It's, you know, what you expect them to be doing. But, you know, Magyar Men-at-Arm Rush, perfectly viable. They do have that extra 1 attack, just like the Burmese. So, you know, it's going to be worthwhile in the end. Nice little wall coming in here for Mentalist. Who, interestingly, he just went for a really late feudal age. This is odd. Is he going for a fast castle? Well, like, he's gathering a little gold? I don't know. This is very odd, in my opinion. He went to feudal age on 25 population, is housed. Yeah, this is weird. I don't get this. Looks like just straight up archers coming out from Spaden. Nothing too crazy there. Yes, you do expect your pockets to normally go for scouts, but Ethiopians obviously have very strong archers and not very strong scouts, so I think that's reasonable in that situation. It's like having a pocket Britons player go for like crossbowmen instead of knights. It's not like necessarily better, but it's, you know, it's reasonable. Looks like a scout died somewhere, but we have double ranges coming out for Miguel at this moment. Archers and stuff. This 1 villager is toast. And yeah, I have no idea what Mentalist is doing. Did he get lamed? I can't tell, honestly. Because I have no idea what what Mentalist is doing is makes no sense. He's going for scouts now, but he went up to the feudal age on 25 population. And now we have, looks like, really rough position here for Slam, losing 2 villagers so far. Not ideal. He also had to seed a ton of farms in the Dark Age, so it's like 5 or 6 farms that are at less than 50 food remaining, not even getting to take advantage of that Frank free farm upgrade. And yeah, Slam will get, you know, those scouts out that have those that extra 9 HP, which is nice. But I think he's just really, really far behind, and NaBs is just in a really bad position, to be honest. Again, I'm not sure on the Khmer pick, like, as far as Feudal Age, you know, just a normal flush is concerned, like, they're gonna be fine. I guess, you know, it's okay that you don't have to build the barracks. But the archers are really, you know, not gonna have the greatest sort of longevity this game, since Khmer don't get Thumb Ring. However, another villager dying for Slam. That is 4 villagers down for him. Not a good position for him at all. And honestly, Spaden's not doing much to help out his teammates. It seems like Spaden is very much the sort of defensive player in these team games. Not really one to go out on a limb to help out his teammates. And just kind of play defensively, play the macro game, and then get up to the Imperial Age as soon as he can. We have a bit of an engagement going on here. Men-at-Arms and Archers, plus a bunch of Scouts. Have a good day at work, Dr. Strauss. Hopefully it's not too much of a grind. Happy Friday. Pleasure having you around, though. Always appreciate when people stop by and say hi. But yeah, like, that's just nowhere near enough Scouts. And is NaBs kind of dead already? Because it really seems like NaBs is kind of dead already. Because right now, Mentalist has 1 army, and that's this 1 Scout Cavalry. And there's already enough stuff here for Miguel to take him out. That's gonna be GG. That game sucked. Slam got lamed hard, and then just kind of died. And then Mentalist, I assume, got lamed, because otherwise his build makes no sense. And then he died hard. And then Spaden just kind of sat there and didn't help out his teammates. Just had a ton of archers just sitting in his base as his teammates died. Because RiuT went for the scouts, of course, as Mongols. Yeah. Not the greatest game from NaBs, to be honest. I don't know how much we can gain from looking at this. Yeah, Spaden with the highest villager count, but he didn't really do anything with it. Hello again. Update the score. It is now 2-1 in favor of LoS, so they are on set point. They win the next game, they will win this best of 5 and be 1-1 in overall map score, or series score, whatever we want to call it. However, if NaBs win this, it will go to another game 5. So we'll see if NaBs can take it to that match point. But welcome everyone to game number 4 for NaBs versus LoS. They're playing Dust again? I thought you didn't have repeats on maps in this setting. Wait, no, I'm an idiot. I reloaded the same exact game. I forgot to change it to the next game. Whoops! Whoops, whoops, whoops. Ornlu a noob. Oh, also, if you saw there that there were 5 games in the series, there may be, but I don't know that necessarily. Well, I mean, I don't know that. There are not necessarily 5 games in this series. I got spoiler-free recs, so yeah. We are going to be jumping in here, however, onto Beach Fight for game number 4. This is the actual game number 4. It's called Beach Fight, right? Yeah, getting used to these map names. But this is a very interesting map that I will introduce to anyone who might not be familiar with it after I introduce the players and the teams. So, currently down 2-1, we have Team NaBs on the left side of this map, with Slam as the Blue Goths on the north flank. Mentalist as the red Aztecs in the pocket. And finally, Spaden as the purple Britons on the south flank. Meanwhile, we have Miguel as the yellow Incas on the south flank for Team Brazil. RiuT as the Cyan Slavs in the pocket. And finally, Dogao as the green Celts on the north flank. And yeah, this map's a gem. So before I talk about the civs in any way, obviously I have to address the many elephants in the room. Look at all these elephants in the room. So many elephants that will never get any use. No one will ever go for these elephants. So this map is called Beach Fight. It's kind of similar to Socotra in that you start very close to your opponents in the middle of the map. And in terms of buildable area, there is very little on this map because, yes, you have a lot of trees on your starting island, quote-unquote. You know, these are nice, thick woods. But beyond that, that's all the wood on the map. So all of the wood is in the center area of the map, and it's not like you can really expand outward, because all of this beach terrain on the edge of the map, hence the name of the map, you cannot build here. Well, you can build on the desert, but you can't build on the beach. Units can walk on there, and there are a ton of goats wandering around the empty wastes of the beach here. Not quite sure what a goat is doing on a beach, but, you know, we'll not complain about it. And then on the east and west sides of the map, there is a ton of gold. Lots and lots of gold. The only gold you get in your sort of starting area is 6 tiles worth of gold. That will be your quote-unquote main gold, and then that's it. That's all you have. Get a ton of farms to start with, 6 tiles of gold, normal berry bushes, and no stone whatsoever. So much food for them on the beach. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, so east and west both have gold piles. North and south have a ton of elephants. I don't really know why you'd have these elephants here. They don't really do anything, because it's not worth it to send a ton of villagers out there to go gather from the elephants, because they're so vulnerable, as they will always be taking damage from the fact that the elephants will attack them. And there's just a bunch of lions here too, which certainly discourage any early excursions. Same with the gold. So yeah, this is a weird freaking map. Yes, there are 5 relics as normal. Nothing atypical in that sense. Look at all these goats here. So many goats. But let's take a look at the civ choices here, because I think there are a lot of very smart civ choices so far. Well, just in general. Britons for Spaden was starting with Team NaBs. Britons are such a strong civilization on this map for a couple reasons. One, faster working shepherds. When you're harvesting a goat, it's the same as a sheep. They count as shepherds, and Briton shepherds work 25% faster, and you just have so many goats to work with. You get all that extra food nice and quick. Very, very powerful economy bonus on this map in particular. And then on top of that, when you're dealing with a map where it's very small in terms of like people are close to each other, long-range archers are going to be really, useful at sort of sniping enemy units. Also, this map very much encourages team walls in the early game. So, you know, sort of dark, early feudal age aggression, very unlikely on this map. We already see a double wall coming in for Miguel. But moving on, Aztecs, as Chukonu is saying in the chat, Aztecs, I think, are an incredibly strong choice on this map. We saw, I think, Brazil go for this last week, where they slung Dogao, I think it was, as Aztecs. But yeah, Aztecs are really strong for a couple reasons. One, on a map with no stone, again, any sort of civilization that's focused on their unique unit is going to be not that great, because you can't really get any castles up. Aztecs, not exactly reliant on the Jaguar Warrior, and instead very reliant on the Eagle Warrior, which obviously you can build at the barracks. Also, their farm bonus is going to be incredibly useful here, and that equally goes for the Slavs. Again, Very strong for similar reasons. You don't need to make boyars to be, to make good use of the Slavs. Very strong siege, very strong infantry, good cavalry as well. Can go for knights or cavaliers or whatever they want. So Slavs, strong for pretty much the same reasons as the Aztecs. And then Celts, Celts are fine. Like, there's nothing that makes Celts in particular good on this map, but Celts are just kind of a solid civilization. I definitely prefer picking Celts on a map where if you land Celts as pocket, you don't necessarily need to go for knights, because this map is so close that, you don't really need a pocket that goes for knights. I mean, yeah, the pocket can go for knights, and it's, perfectly viable, but you don't need to have that. I mean, Dogao ended up landing on flank anyway, and Celts on flank here are fine. Yeah, Goths without Huskarls. Why would you pick Goths on this map? So, my thought here is that the thing with Goths is, without Huskarls, yeah, they're pretty suspect. However, you only need one castle. And then with that one castle, you just research Anarchy, research Perfusion, Elite Huskarl, and Conscription. Then you're good. Then you don't need any more castles. So for a civilization that's reliant on their unique unit, like the Goths are, not too surprising. Also, Trushing is very strong on this map. I know I said that there's no stone on this map, and there isn't any stone on this map, but kind of like not Socotra, you just buy the stone. That doesn't discourage people from Trushing, unfortunately. And you see Dogao, RiuT, and Miguel all going for very late feudal age times, all up on 23 or 24 population. Meanwhile, we have a much faster feudal age coming in for Slam here, already getting out the watchtower. However, he does have a couple layers of walls that he has to batter through, and Dogao's going to have his own defensive tower up in plenty of time. You do start with 200 stone on this map, not the 20 stone of not Socotra. So, yeah, you can definitely get that one offensive or defensive tower, no problem. But yeah, beyond that, definitely have to be buying resources. Market now coming in for Spaden. Is he just going for Sling? Because Market, no Blacksmith, no nothing. He's just fully walled. Like, he's walled here, and then frickin' Miguel is double walled here, double walled here. Market Blacksmith for Miguel. Now going to build stone walls here as well. Miguel playing so passively. He's not going for a sling, because he wouldn't be building a blacksmith if he was going for a sling. He would just need the market. And yeah, Spaden will be going for a sling. That's kind of a shame in my opinion, because I do think Britons are going to be really solid on this map, due to the archers having lots of... There's not a lot of area for the archers to have to move around to get lots of good damage from range. But regardless, slinging will be the strategy of choice here for Spaden, so he is more than happy to see Miguel walling up, which actually he probably can't even see. I guess he does. I guess he... How does he see that? I guess Palisades have 2 line of sight. Yeah. But it's going to be a fast castle out for Miguel, RiuT, and Mentalist. Dogao definitely slowed down in the sort of castle age thing. But actually, I'm crazy. Dogao's getting coinage, so we will be seeing a sling from him as well. Celts, certainly a reasonable slinging civilization. They have the faster wood income, so that's more wood you can ship over to your teammates. Any map that's just very small definitely rewards slinging, because it's very easy in this situation just to wall yourself in, and then give that power spike to a teammate who can just very quickly swarm the opponent. So both players will have one player going for a sling, Dogao for LoS, and Spaden for NaBs. Let's see, RiuT, going for that fast castle age, nothing too crazy in that regard, just Blacksmith Market, stable. Second stable on the way, so he will be going for knights in the castle age. This is certainly nothing out of the ordinary if you are a Slav player. Meanwhile, don't know what Miguel's doing. He has a lot of villagers on gold, so maybe a monk plus siege push, like he's playing arena or something. And I don't think that would be terrible, necessarily. Incan monks, if you are unaware, are okay. They miss Fervor and Atonement, but that's it. So, you know, obviously, missing Atonement makes them really bad in the monk versus monk wars. However, if you're not in a monk versus monk wars, Atonement doesn't really mean anything, so their monks are perfectly serviceable beyond that. You do see a siege workshop and a monastery coming down, so that will be the strategy of choice. Mentalist going for those Eagle Warriors, definitely what you would expect, and now a monastery coming in for Mentalist as well, siege workshop. So actually, no, he might not be going for that many Eagles, just going for like 1 Rax Eagles, and then, you know, taking advantage of the sling to go for siege units and monasteries as well. And in this sort of like Meso v Meso matchup, Aztecs are going to have a huge advantage because their monks are way better. Yes, both civilizations get redemption, but I was just talking about how Atonement doesn't matter so long as you're not in a monk versus monk battle. Well, guess what? Guess what RiuT and Miguel are about to enter? A monk versus monk battle. And Aztecs have the best monks in the game, along with Spanish and Burmese. So, yeah, rip that. And I guess Byzantines. No players have gone out to the, the sides of the map to take gold yet. We won't likely see that for a little while yet until their main golds start to run dry. And then we will likely never see the elephants taken. However, in the late game, if it ever gets there, I've never seen this go past the early Imperial Age, but if it somehow does, get to the part where these golds all start to run out, once the golds are gone, you can build markets here, and then you can just build some markets here, and you can actually have good trade lines. They're just going to be super exposed, because obviously there's no way you can defend it. But I have never seen a game last that long on this map. It looks like we got a bit of some conversions going, a 1-for-1 trade on some mangonels. Slam... Oh, he didn't go for any further towers. He just went for the 1, and is going double stable knight. We have some 6 knights coming in here for RiuT. There's only 4 out for Slam currently. Obviously, Slavs have that excellent farming bonus. That just really begs the question, why Goths? Obviously, this is no repeat civilizations and no mirror matches. So, it's not like NaBs themselves could use Slavs, because the LoS team grabbed that civilization first. But there has to be some sort of civilizations left in the barrel that are better than Goths in this particular instance. Looks like some monks are out. The monks of Miguel are getting some conversions in. Getting a villager here, which is always nice. Let's actually check Mentalist, his monk techs. None. No atonement, no sanctity, nothing like that. And right now, it seems like Team Brazil's in a dominating position. The, obviously, nice sling going into RiuT, but he's just taking that along with his farming bonus and just starting to steamroll the middle of the map. Yes, a couple monks have died here for Miguel, but he does have sanctity. That is Miguel. And no more monk techs coming in for Mentalist. He's on 2 town centers. I think that's... No, there's 2 town centers for RiuT as well. And right now, Mentalist is in a really bad position. 4 units killed, 13 lost. And he's just losing monks left and right. Is this how NaBs dies? Just with 2 bops? That would be really disappointing, but... Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, I think a large part of it is RiuT taking full advantage of his sling. 12 military right now for Slam, well 13 now, and 13 for RiuT, but RiuT's been actively using his military. Slam really hasn't. 14 kills to 8 dead for RiuT, 7 to 5 for Slam. Just goes to show that much better use of military. And see ya, Chuko Kung Fu. Always nice to have you around. Thanks for tuning in while you could. Random knight here for Miguel that somehow got converted. That was some long-range conversions, but more and more knights are starting to pour in for Slam, or for RiuT, my bad. And, well, Slam's Goths, he doesn't have walls. Yeah, he's gonna have 4 stables up, but he doesn't really have much of an eco to stand on. I mean, yes, Spaden's gonna be slinging him, but... ugh. Still, no monk techs in for Mentalist. Now getting Sanctity and Atonement, which is obviously the 2 techs he wants the most, but things are looking a little late as far as that goes. Yeah, nothing crazy is ever going to happen from the slinging players. Here come the knights, though, from both players. A couple knights here for Miguel as well, from the monks. And right now, the monks for Mentalist are way far behind. Now they, you know, they're getting their techs in, so they have 55 HP currently. But the Aztec monks are few in number and far away from the fight. Battering Ram is starting to work away at these stables, and, you know, once the stables start dropping, then the knights start not being produced. Redemption is on the way for Miguel as well. There really aren't any siege units that he has to convert, but I guess it's a worthwhile tech to pick up regardless. RiuT now getting light cav, interestingly enough. Yeah, Miguel going full monks right now. Light cav obviously designed to get, deal with the monks. And 21 knights for Slam, 22 for RiuT. So the knight numbers are actually even right now. And of course, you know, the monks don't have redemption for Miguel, so some Wololos coming in from both sides. Looks like there literally will just be 1 knight that gets converted and then converted back. 2 knights that get converted and converted back, so that's not really the most effective monks on either side. But there's been a ton of idle eco time here for Slam, not exactly ideal. 38 military to the 49 of RiuT in this situation, who is on 2 town centers, will likely be going over to the side of the map. Actually, Miguel will be the first one to the side of the map. And we'll be getting a town center here. Actually, that's a bit unfortunate. Looks like RiuT killed a goat here. And you can't build a town center on a rotting corpse. Like, that's just rude. So, he actually can't put the town center down until the goat is done being harvested, or it rots away. That's funny. RiuT also the first player to click up to the Imperial Age, importantly. Taking full advantage of that there sling. And to be fair, Slam still does have 4 stables up, which is more than enough. 4 stables up for RiuT as well. Looks like there may be another engagement happening here. Here come the monks, and where are the monks for Mentalist? A little far behind. No fervor tech, for sure. Hard to tell exactly how this fight's gonna go, but all of the monks are gonna get picked off here for Miguel. Monks still alive here for Mentalist because they were late to the fight, but it looks like Team LoS is on the retreat, as a matter of fact, and these scores are getting closer. It's a very bad fight for Miguel in particular. Really caught out with the monks. However, I still think probably the overall stronger position is still in Team LoS's hands, just because RiuT is going to be so much faster to the Imperial Age than everyone else in this game. He's getting the light cav for his enemy's monks, and those mangonels won't do anything. Looks like they're trying to pick off a monk. Will they get it? Nope. I have a bunch of knights in the middle. This is awkward. Mentalist, you have a bunch of monks. Why are you running away, Slam? Oh, wait. Oh, I'm such a doofus. They're all on the same team. Boy! Ornlu noob. Here we are. These scouts are not on the team of Mentalist, trying to get some picks in, but obviously Aztec Monks so tanky, 60 health currently. Double the starting HP for Monks. And maybe only 1 or 2 are going to die for like 7 or 8 Cav. Now Slam getting the Men-at-Arm upgrade. Will he be going for a Champ Flood? He's on the way to the Imperial Age himself, getting a lot of barracks down. So it does seem likely that we'll be seeing a Champion Flood from our Goth player. We're gonna party like it's 1999. Haven't seen a Champ Flood in forever. Also, tons of Mangonels for Mentalist. Yes, 5 Mangonels right now? That'll take down a Siege Workshop in no time. And also, importantly, Miguel not on the way to Imperial Age himself. He does have a TC up here, but that's going to be it. That's not going to be an Imperial Age for him. No TCs out yet on the side of NaBs. Also, in case you're wondering, hey, why can you build walls on this beach? You can build walls on beachfront, but that's it. That's the only thing you can build. That's how you can build walls that connect directly to the shoreline. Like if there was like water, there's always that one tile of beach, and you can build walls on it. So yeah, you can build walls all over here however much you want. You just can't build anything except walls. Looks like another engagement is going to go on right now. There are Cavalier here versus only the Knights of Slam. Obviously waiting for his own Imperial Age. Uh-oh, Hussars in. Among the Monks, Mangonels aren't going to be too effective against Cavaliers. Monks running for their lives with their old man sticks trying to power walk their way to victory. But yeah, obviously just really unfortunate time for NaBs to push right there, just as the Imperial Age comes in for RiuT. Conversion's trying to go off, in no way that RiuT has Heresy or Redemption, because Slavs don't have those techs. Oh, actually, it's going to be a Pike Flood first, before the Champ Flood, which makes sense considering they're about to be overrun by Cavalier. However, we could potentially see a Slinger transition from Miguel, should he choose to do so. Doesn't really have the infrastructure for it right now, but it's certainly a possibility in the long term against the Goths. More and more conversions are coming in here. Very messy fight, but looks like RiuT is decisively winning it. RiuT having more score than his 2 teammates put together. That's an indication of any kind. Looks like Dogao is out of gold here. He will be running over some villagers to start mining over here. Oh, meanwhile we have Cavaliers up in the gold area for NaBs. These Knights are not exactly in the right position, nor are they large enough in number. So the gold income is going to be nil right now for Team NaBs. There are only just now a ton of villagers for Slam and Spaden, I think. Nope, just Slam. So I guess Spaden hasn't mined out his gold yet. I don't know, it seems like a better sling coming in from Dogao, who's already like effectively mining from this side gold. But, you know, NaBs isn't dead yet. And there are a lot of Halberdiers here, and they are fully upgraded Goth Halberdiers. Well, as fully upgraded as Goth Halberdiers get. Now we have Longswordsmen on the way for RiuT, but without a castle to research Druzhina. They'll just be generic infantry. Completely. So not exactly ideal. I mean, yes, the Longswordsmen of any kind will deal with Halberdiers, but if Slam just gets the rest of those techs, transitions into his own heavy infantry line, he's going to be just fine in terms of the infantry versus infantry fight, because he will have 30% more and will be producing a lot faster. Monks starting to fall. Monks not going to be too effective at converting longswordsmen or infantry, and actually, the resources have come in for RiuT, getting a castle now. This is going to be super important. This is likely going to be the only castle he'll ever be able to reasonably afford. And this castle will very importantly allow him to research Druzhina, which is possibly going to be what he needs to take down all of this Goth infantry. But for the moment, I mean, obviously the infantry for Slam is just way overwhelming his opponent. Miguel is on the way to Imperial Age himself, and we actually have a castle down here from Slam. So we could be seeing Huskarls potentially from him. I don't really see why, because no one's making archers or making heavy cavalry, heavy infantry, and monks. So definitely I would like a combination of halberdiers and champions. For Slam anyway. And he can importantly get those conscription and perfusion techs, which are going to be super important. Conscription almost done for RiuT. Very important upgrade. I also really like the fact that they have this whole area walled off. They could just gathering all of this gold in harmony. And we are starting to see this right now being done for Team NaBs as well, but there's so much later to it. Just so much less gold income when all things are considered. Also having to lose a ton of villagers in the process. Yeah, right now Slam's at 40 villagers. Whereas everyone else in the game is at around 80 to 90. Just to give you an idea. Also, Champion is on the way for RiuT. Only Longswordsman on the way for Slam, so Slam definitely needs a bit more time. So I'm actually choosing to go for the slinging player here, Dogao, who's caught a bit with his pants down, considering that, well, he can't make any army. Dogao is 2-2 in units killed lost. Meanwhile, it looks like NaBs has regained control of the middle of the map. Ooh, looks like on the south side, however, Miguel going in with a deleting his walls, sending in a battering ram to kill the palisade walls, and you know, this nice little farming village for Spaden is under threat here. Yeah, there's a full wall of houses, but that won't last very long. And there's the Cavalier right behind here to support. Cavalier going to be flooding into the base of Spaden right now, and it looks like both slinging players are going to be dying. Well, actually, Dogao's not dead yet, as I like to say. Does RiuT have Druzhina in just yet? He does not. These champs are fully upgraded other than that. And of course, champs of any kind will annihilate halberdiers. Slam now getting two-handed swordsman, but he's a little slow on the techs compared to his opponent. Mentalist also still stuck in the Castle Age, only now researching the Imperial Age, way behind his opponents. Elite Eagles seem to be the choice for Miguel. I think this is a silly choice. I don't really know why you would go for Eagles in this situation when your opponent is clearly going for mass infantry. I have no idea. Like, you know your opponent's going into champions. Also, Druzhina is on the way for RiuT, so that will be really nice for him. But why go for elite Eagle Warriors into infantry? I guess you just assume that your opponent is only going to be making knights. Or, monks, rather. And of course the Eagles will destroy the monks, but... nah, not exactly that great against halberdiers, and not good at all against monks. These monks can just hop into the town center whenever they're getting attacked. Hop into the town center. And they're just going to call the GG right away. They realize that they cannot deal with both sides of this attack. Castle has fallen here for Slam. 2 trebuchets for RiuT did the job, and Slam just not able to get to the champion upgrade, and Mentalist not able to get to the Imperial Age. So that will be the series. Brazil taking this 3-1, losing the first game, but really just steamrolling through the other ones, to be honest. Yeah, rip NaBs. They are not out of this yet, though. You need to lose 3 games to be out of this tournament, and currently NaBs has lost 2, so they have 1 more shot. And they have not yet, been blown out of the water. They have at least taken a game from their opponent, and they even took Finland to 2 games. And in terms of strength of schedule, you could say, NaBs literally had to face Finland and Brazil, the 2 finalists from Nations Cup. That is not an easy set of 2 opponents. But to be fair, there just aren't a lot of easy opponents in this tournament. In fact, there aren't any at all. Not that I can think of. So yeah, you gotta beat the best to be the best, or something like that. RiuT obviously just steamrolling everybody. But that was a good series. If you're watching this on YouTube, please leave a like if you enjoyed that. Subscribe, do whatever other sellout things you feel like doing. And catch this live on stream if this is what you enjoy.